Hi friends, welcome back to Mark's Speed Shop. In this video, I've got a couple of little things along with this, but I wanted to get an idea of what's wrong with this, okay? We'll try to fix it. If I can, I might have to end up going to the parts store, and if I do, it's going to be another video because here we are, Sunday again, and I'm just getting a few things together. Now, I do have part of where I moved one of the cars down at the house. I'll show you that in just a little bit. I did that earlier this week. And a couple of little things on the F-150 again, kind of updates, okay? But I wanted to see what's going on with this. So the basic thing to do here is pull this fuel line off, and I'm gonna put in another filter. We're gonna see if the pump is working. All right, and I'm gonna spray a little cleaner into some of this. I'll show you, okay? Instead of just yakking about it, I'll show you. But thanks for coming back. Thanks for watching. Please watch all the way through and give me some comments. Tell me what you think. And I did have one fella commented, or person, that had commented on this video and said, well, if it's a Ford, that's why it's not a Ford, it's a Dodge. It's a Dodge Charger, actually. But they all give you problems. And it don't matter if it's a Ford, Chevy, or Dodge. If you get trash in your carburetor, it ain't got nothing to do with whichever one it is. It's got to do with your fuel tank and your fuel and your filters and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, thanks for the comment, but it's a Dodge. Anyway, let's get started and see if we can figure a little bit of this out, okay? Thanks for coming back. All right, good. Got where's all my tools? What do I need? Screwdriver. Alright, this is the only video I'm getting on this right now. I decided to move the granny car. It's just once I pulled it up here, I need to try to, crank it. I tried to crank it for probably a year or more. And I'm going to do that soon. Maybe even on this video, depending on when this video is. But anyway, I just wanted to go ahead and get a little footage of it. I'm going to move the truck from pulling it up. I thought it looks so good. Looks so good sitting there. Had to pump the back tires up. They were a little flat, but hadn't moved the car in a while. And I decided I didn't want to try to fight the carburetor and put a hot battery in it and all that. I will do that because I want to crank it, but all I wanted to do right now was move it up here, up in front of the house and get it up here with the other cars. But when I pulled it up here, I thought it looked so tough just sitting there that I had to get a picture, and I thought I'd just get a little piece of video. And of course I moved IROC over there. I'll show you more in just a minute. Let me get it back in place. I like this car, I really do. Well, that's not bad. Not bad. Now, I don't know if or when or any of that kind of stuff, but the Camaro's inside my dream building right now. See, there would be the corner. This is if it was a 40 by 60, which I might come in a little bit. I'll have to, if you're gonna dream, might as well dream big, right? So, it'll take up most of this space right here. That would be the corner. And then that coffee can would be the other front corner. If you come from there to right here. And there's a coffee can out there, another red spot right up there. But anyway, right now I'm trying to use the space as well as I can. This would be parking lot anyway. I see like the granny car moved out from over there. Good looking car. That's some good air shocks on that. I ain't put air in them things in years. Let me think. Let's see. I'm thinking two of these centers. The centers of the wheel, not centers. A bunch of centers. Thinking two of these centers are factory off of my 70 Charger. Off of General Lee. And the only reason I ordered two more back in the late 80s, when I was, it might have been even earlier than that. Can't remember. Might have even been before I worked at the Ford place. I ordered two centers from there, and they weren't that outrageous. It was a little high then, but they weren't that bad. But the main reason I got them is because one or two of them I had some of the bolts that bolted in. They were stripped. And so I just ordered two new ones. Had to paint them to match. That's why these are a little darker than just stock. And I'm not sure what year models the centers, these long cone type ones are my favorite. They're the early ones. And they came in a dark argent, I guess you'd say, and a light argent. So I kind of like the dark, so I did them in the dark against the silver wheel. Now these back wheels I got from year one, gosh, 30 years ago probably. They're 15 by 8. The front are stock. They're 14 by probably 6s. Some of them came 5.5, some came 6s, depending on what year models. But that right there is what would have been on my General Lee, my Charger. 14 by 6s. But I like 15 by 8. Now they have gotten outrageous. All of them have. All the rally wheels, all the wheels, just gotten outrageous prices. All right, pulling with you forward just a little bit here. This is not what I'm going to work on this one, but I did want to show you. This is the little piece I took out. Apparently this is the needle in the seat. And I think this is supposed to be a little filter. It's clear all the way through, clean, I blew through it. But apparently when the needle and seat is shut, this little thing comes all the way out. It must work the float somehow, or the float works it. What it's supposed to do, apparently, when the float comes down and gets low, it pushes this in, which opens this up, and it takes in fuel. And then when the float goes up, it pulls away from this, and this closes. That's just roughly what I believe. I've never seen one quite like this. Mopars aren't like this. But anyway, right here is where it goes. And I sprayed some carburetor cleaner up in there, and I sprayed a little bit down in the vent and the carburetor. So I'm gonna let that sit just a little, for a while. But I did buy a replacement needle and seat. A little bit different, not much. I'm gonna see if I can get that to work. I'll take that inside probably and take it apart and see. But I think I may have blown out the pressure from that electric fuel pump may have blown out this Neyland seat. I don't know what is in there, if it's a spring or what holds it. But when I took it off, it still had enough pressure on it. After I disconnected everything and took all this out, it still had so much pressure on it that this was all the way out. These were closed completely, and I couldn't even, well, you saw it in the video, I think. I hit it on the tire, and it wouldn't even go down. You couldn't even push it down, so much pressure was on it. So I'm thinking that little fuel pump, everybody says, well, it's just a standard fuel pump, it ought not be that much and all, but nobody can tell me how much pressure it actually puts on it. This carburetor probably, this Neyland seat, shouldn't have more than 6 or 7 pounds. And I got a feeling that little fuel pump, even if it's a lower pressure fuel pump, it's probably putting, I don't know, 8, 10, 12 on it. And if it is, it might be blowing out this Neyland seat and making it not work. Because what it's doing now, it's not getting the gas into the carburetor. Because you saw me on another video, if I pour a little gas in the carburetor, she fires right off. Fires right up and sputters up. So when I do put all this back together, I will fill the bowl up as much as I can and see if I can get it to crank and run on that. But I'm also going to check out the other Neyland seat. I'll show you. That'll be coming up. Okay, not this video, but it'll be coming up. I'll show you that. It's a little bit different, but I think it's going to work. We'll test all that too. But I just wanted to tell you I sprayed a little bit of Bowman's carburetor cleaner up in there. See if we can get that and figure out what went wrong with that. So more to come on here. Good Lord willing. All right, not trying to make any excuses, but I am overdue with my shots in my eyes. And so y'all bear with me, I cannot see very well. Let me see if I can get them. All right, I got to thinking about this and wondering if it picked up trash and or if your fuel pump quit pumping. That's not a good sign right there. That tells you right there that most likely the fuel pump isn't pumping. So, what I think I'm gonna do, I got a new filter. Got a little bit of hose there. Went ahead and got the Wix 33003. That's the big end. I hope that's right. I think it'll work. All right, so let's see. Fuel flow. Gosh, it sucks when your eyes don't work right. It's hard to see. So it doesn't say, so I guess it don't matter. Normally it would say inlet. I would think it should come in and fill up the bowl and then filter through to that. That'll filter the outside. Let's see what it says here. Yeah, I got a suspicious feeling that the fuel pump has died, and it could still be trash. All right, rather than waste all y'all's time doing this and getting y'all too bored, we cut this off and we'll pick it back up once I get it all hooked up. All right, well, I got that on there. Not tight, I got it on. But I do want to do a little bit of spray in here. All right, now if the battery has enough juice, I hadn't been charging, I should have. We're gonna see if it fuel pump is pumping. So y'all watch that filter, and y'all tell me. Did it pump any? Yeah. Yep, it's pumping. Maybe it did pick up some trash. Let me tap on it, see if the float's stuck. Shouldn't be. It's not leaking anywhere. Well, we'll zoom a little more. Maybe it'll fire. All right. That don't make any sense. But even sitting, even when I tried it, once I got it back here, and I tried it a couple times before Dana got there the other day, and it would fire, but it wouldn't run. And it could be cartilage, because there's something in the cartilage. Don't pick up a piece of that. I did spray a little carburetor cleaner down in the bowl, and beat on it with a screwdriver just a minute ago. Put that new filter on, new piece of hose, and they pump the fuel up. I was wondering if the fuel pump had gone bad. I'll let it run for a little bit and see what it'll do. I'll hook the fan up. I don't want it to get hot. It shouldn't. I there'll be more to it now. I just hope it ain't something that every time I get 3 or 4 miles from the house or shop, it decides to die. You know. I don't know. One of them dire mysteries. Can't hear. She running richer than Elon Musk, I tell you what. It's getting a little warm, but I guess that fan, I think it's keeping it from boiling over. Yep, she's tight, but not terribly hot. Yeah, it's warm. I filled up the filter, Zoom on it. I'm running, now it's running. You know what it is? This is Colorado. I'll leave these in it for now. They ain't hurt nothing. They're Mexico. That pump might not be pumping like it ought to. I don't know. I'd like to put a fuel filter in before the pump. I might do that later. I asked them when I got this one. That's the last one they had in the O'Reilly's that day. That's the last one they had. I won't get 2. Seems to be alright. I hate that. I'd almost rather it be something that I can figure out. So I'll have to take off again. And not be happy. Cut off again. At least I can see what the fuel is doing. I put a little bit extra black hose in there to get that hose away from the engine. And when it would leak, like one of these fittings, when it would leak, see, I had to put it right around here, and it would drip right on out there. Not a good place to have a fuel leak. So at least now, if it leaks, it will be dropping on the alternator. It might drop a little on the belt and the water pump. It should be away from the alternator. And you can get this away from the engine a little bit more, so it wouldn't get hot and it wouldn't be near the alternator. But I didn't want it touching the radiator because that'd be hot. I can't imagine being any worse than a metal line coming up from the fuel pump and snaking up behind the alternator up against the block practically. About a, half inch to an inch off the block. And then coming up, that's got to be hot, especially a metal line. So this ought to be cool. I don't know. I don't know what was going on with it. It didn't cut off. I killed the switch. But you keep an eye on it. I'm not going to take it up the road today. It's getting late on Sunday. I need to get something together for a video. But, even though, like I said, on one hand, it makes me a little nervous because I don't know why it did what it did. And it wouldn't run. Because I even opened this filter up and looked at it, and it was clean. You can blow right through it. So, it won't stop up. The only thing different I really did, I sprayed carburetor cleaner right in the vent, and I sprayed a little bit up in here, but that ain't gonna really reach nothing. Sprayed a little bit down in the vent, and then put the filter in, a new piece of line, and once the pop filled that filter up, you saw it. She fired up. Well, okay. Got that done anyway. While I was filming a little bit, my stepdad called. He's over at the hospital with my mom. She's doing okay. So I talked to them for a few minutes while the car ran. Told him I don't know why it did what it did. Maybe it did just pick up some trash and it blew it loose. I don't know. It don't take much. That tiny little piece of trash mess that float up or something. But anyway. He said, I wouldn't be taking it out. I wouldn't be going too far. I said, I ain't pulling it out of the shop. So I was just trying to see if I can get, if it's pumping gas and figure out why it did what it did. And get a little video together. But what I'll probably do is I'll probably just tinker it around here a little bit more. Take it down to the house. Run around the property. Big driveway loop, maybe up the road and back. Some, not today. And see if it does it again. But I'd say that's a win. A win with the Wix filter. It wants a filter though. We know that. Seems like it ought to fill that filter up. Seems like it ought to keep that filter a little fuller. See, one thing you got to keep in mind, when you swap in a big block or a big cube small block and put big fuel lines on it, you got to remember the 318 Mopar, 318 car, small block car or 6-cylinder car, had a small metal line run to the tank. Okay? So this has still got the 318 2-barrel line to the tank. But it still ought to be okay, but that 750 is a whole lot. So you get them big bowls, but I ain't been getting on it, so it shouldn't be that. But years ago, I probably told y'all the story before, about years ago, I bought a 73 or 74 Roadrunner out of a junkyard. And it was a 318 car, probably 74, because it was a 318 car, a small block car. Yeah, I think it was 318 car. It didn't say 340 on the side or anything. So anyway, somebody had taken it and put a 440 in it. Well, it was starved for fuel. I put a big Holly on it, and she would run it. She'd run wide open. But it would, like if you ran it on the quarter, just cruising around, it was fine. But if I raced somebody, before I got to the end of the quarter mile, I'd say just, you'd probably be all right running the eighth. We didn't run an eighth then. We might run across the bridge now and then or something like that, but we didn't really run an eighth. We'd run a quarter. So I get probably 3/4 of the quarter through, and she started falling on his face because it was starving for fuel. It couldn't pull the fuel. It couldn't pump with the factory pump. It couldn't pull that fuel through that tiny line all the way from the back, all the way up here to fill up that Holly. They're the same car as this. This is a 73 Charger. That was a 73 or 74 Roadrunner Plymouth. Same body. I mean, different lines, of course. One's a Charger, one's a Roadrunner, satellite, whatever. But same car, same platform, same fuel lines, everything. And this is a big cube small block, but I wasn't even getting on it, you see. That's the thing. I was just cruising it. I wasn't even getting into the 4-barrel when I was coming up the highway trying to clear it up. It was acting like it was starving for gas then. So whatever was happening then. And then it just idled down and cut off, and it would fire up, but it wouldn't run. If y'all saw the video, y'all saw that. But you seem to be okay now. And you never know, it still could need a fuel pump. It could be kind of hit and miss and not pumping as good as it should, not be pumping as strong as it should. Maybe that's one reason that fuel filter looked like it was dipping down a whole lot. You just zooming on it, it filled it all the way up. But once it's running, I won't worry about that too much unless it keeps giving me problems, because I still want to put that 650 on here. And the bowls aren't as big on that 650, and hopefully it'll do better. Another reason I want to do these lines kind of like this with the clamps and all, because I'm going to have to bring a hose, I think, to the back of that Edelbrock. I think it comes out like a Carter. So I'll need a piece of line that's from here and come back like this, kind of like this one. Goes in the back, I think. Could go in the front, but I think it goes in the back. But we'll consider that a win. For right now, anyway. Don't say I never get anything accomplished on my videos. It's just a head scratcher, because I can't imagine just taking one filter and a leaky line off and running straight, no filter, no leaks, and it won't happen. It's got to be something else, because I don't think there's enough trash to bog it, but it could have been a little bit. All it takes is a tiny little piece. But that Wix ought to take care of it, and at least I can see what's going on. We'll monitor it a little better. Now I smell all exhausted. I'm exhausted. There we go. All right, well, that's going to wrap up this video. Another short video. Not a whole lot get done, but these weeks, man, I tell you. Hopefully before long I'll be getting more going on. Y'all stick with me, please. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you coming back. I appreciate you watching. And I appreciate everybody that sticks with me, okay? So we're going to be doing some more. And I'm going to do more on this. If it'll at least run and crank up, run back in and out, I'll get back on the body work. I would like to get it painted before it turns to wintertime, and that's coming. I mean, this is getting near the end of August now. So you got September and then November. I mean, come on. Anyway, even if I don't get that done, I can get the body work done and get it close. So just stick with me and we'll see, okay? I got a lot to do. Y'all know that. Sometimes I get overwhelmed, but I try to get something done. Remember, every little bit you do gets you one step closer to completing your project. That's what I do, a little bit. Oh, well, anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming back. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Just hit that little button at the end. If you hadn't already done it, it's free. You're subscribing, you're helping me out. And please, watch them all the way through. Even if you just turn them on and then go to the bathroom or something. It helps me out. I really do appreciate it. So, y'all come back to see me, and I'll be here, good Lord willing, and I'll see you at the shop. Now remember, subscribe and watch. Thanks. Make comments. Tell me what you think. What's wrong with this thing? And don't say, oh, it's a Ford. It's not a Ford, it's a Dodge. If you're gonna gripe on one, at least get the year right. Oh, it's a Dodge. It's gonna do that. Yeah, I agree with you there. All right, let's see. I got stuff thrown everywhere. Belt might need tightening up. Oh yeah. At least.